The same can be said for workers' compensation. We purchase workers' compensation for all of our employees, and that premium, we've been very successful in negotiating good contracts for workers' compensation. An area that is completely out of our control, yet we have to pay the bill for, is the county retirement assessment. You can see steadily increasing over the years, particularly in fiscal year 10, where we've experienced a 14.76 or almost 15% increase in pension costs. There's a combination. There's a reason for that. Of course, investments are not doing well. Everybody knows that. But also, the pension system is on a pace to be fully funded by 2028. And in order to keep that pace, they had to increase the cost to us. This is our debt picture. This is the debt that is not exempt from 2.5. This is the regular town debt. As you can see, things are looking pretty good in that category.
Ms. O'Neill of the school committee?
I think I'm a bit shorter. Okay, I'm going to give this a try. I haven't done this before, this little gadget here. So we'll hope I go forward. Good evening. On behalf of the school department, I'll be presenting a very brief overview of our proposed budget for the 2010 fiscal year. Before I begin, however, I'd like to also thank publicly the members of the Easton Educators Association, who, as our town administrator noted, just hours ago ratified a new contract which included major concessions on health insurance, thus allowing us to avoid significant additional personnel cuts that would have been very painful indeed. We are certainly aware that this could not have been an easy decision for many of our teachers, and we are extremely grateful. As you can see, actually,
so our net general fund revenues, last year we were looking at almost a 5%, a 4.9% increase that was able to fund our expenses. This year we're looking at a 3%, a 0.3% increase. That's basically flat. And you say, why? Why did we go from almost a 5% increase in our net general fund revenues down to flat? And it was mostly because of the state aid. And again, you saw the charts, 5.8% increase last year in our state aid.
Differently than it has been done in the past. I am going to go through each item, and if anyone wants to speak about that item, please yell hold, and I'll hold it. Any item that is not held will not be voted on until the entire article is voted on. So if we go through all the items that are held, and someone says, geez, that item wasn't held, but I want to discuss it, you're still welcome to discuss it. Everything will remain open. I just want to organize this a little bit so that I'm able to follow it. I already heard some rumblings in the audience during the motion that the Board of Health is going to be held and the school department will be held. So those two items are already going to be held, and I'm going to go down the rest of the items. Again, if you want to have a discussion about any of the items, or if you want to file a motion to amend impacting one of these items, just yell hold, and I'll hold it, and we'll go in order. Selectmen, Finance Committee, Reserve Fund, Accountant, Assessors, Town Collector Treasurer, Town Council, Data Processing.
Move to amend the budget of the Board of Health to $220,028.
How much of an increase is that? I'm sorry? $83,406. So just so I understand, this motion to amend to increase the Board of Health budget by $83,406, correct? Is that correct?
I believe it is, yes.
Okay. Is that motion seconded?
Second.
Motion is seconded. Dr. Klingler, you have the floor.
Okay. As we saw by the recent reaction to swine flu, citizens all over the world take the status of their health seriously. From cancer to heart disease and environmental health hazards, we spend much of our time addressing issues of health and life quality. Ask most adults, and they will say if you have your health, you have everything. This would suggest that the #1 priority of any municipal government should be to protect the individual health and safety of the citizens that they serve. The Board of Health is being asked to make dramatic changes. Are these changes being made because of an in-depth evaluation of our department? No, they are not. Are the changes being proposed due to some systematic or colossal failure of the existing system? But each time that he made one correction, it was coupled with a poor decision. Is this really only about the money? I asked that of Mr. Colton, and he assured me that it was. I will show you why I answered that question, or I'll show you why I question that answer, as the numbers don't make any sense to me. I would like you to be the judge. When I first met with Mr. Colton, he told me that if the Board of Health could come up with about $82,000, then we could maintain our staffing. However, he's reducing revenue brought into the town by up to $60,000 if you look at Article 5. This number may be less than that, but it's the number used by the Finance Committee discussions. So I will use that number. In order to become a doctor, I had to do pretty well in math, but I'm afraid I must tell you that I'm apparently failing in municipal finance. I thought that when you cut expenses by $82,000, but decrease income to the town by $60,000, I was told how wrong I was.
Public health not only impacts every individual in the town, from the youngest to the oldest, to every individual and every family in town, but it also protects the community as a whole and the environment. I feel, well, the state sets the regulations and the laws, but it's the local health department that has the legal obligation and the only authority to enforce these laws and these regulations, and to enforce such things as the quarantine and isolation laws, regulations, which means they have the power to keep highly infectious people quarantined or isolated so contamination and infection does not spread through the community. I feel that the changes that have been planned will seriously impact the ability of the size of Easton, those are the current staffing levels, to cut not only the staffing levels, but the people that have the most expertise is very short-sighted and does not benefit the town. Public health issues have become very complicated. The eventuality of pandemic flu, the need to implement emergency medical dispensing sites, and the...
In 10 people stand in their seats, I believe you will call for a hand count. Is that correct, sir?
If there are, I believe it's 10, yes?
1, 2,
Okay.
I don't know.
All those in favor of moving the question?
Yeah, I might be the best thing to do. Yeah,